neighbors and friends, it's good to see you again and welcome back to our happy little depot. We started out this episode with a picture called Waiting for the Train. Well, we've been waiting a little while and it still ain't here. Here's the truth of the matter. The L&N don't run here no more. Quote Johnny Cash on that one. In about the mid-70s, we stopped receiving freight at this depot. Mid-50s, we stopped passenger service. Now granted, it was only going to Gallatin, and then from there you could pick up the L&N and run north or south or whichever direction you felt like you needed to go. But let's focus a little bit more on this happy little place. While this was in operation, I'm only gonna have to guess, I can't quote because we don't have all the knowledge, but somewhere around 1 million pounds of tobacco came through here, more than likely every year, at 1,000 pounds a bushel in a hogshead barrel. Narrow gauge railroad, which they thought in the late 1800s would effectively take over the country and cut costs down. We didn't need cast iron rails or cast steel rails, we could do it cheaper. We know that didn't work. Very popular in the Northeast, not so much everywhere else in the country. The amount of people towards product that came through this depot was very differential. More product went out of here than the people that came in. In the early days, the people that came in and they hopped on a stagecoach and they rode up to Red Bull Springs, Epperson Springs, and all the fancy hotels that were in the area. As more and more people came through the depot year after year, the depot changed. We talked about in the first video how we had a waiting room. Reality is if it wasn't spring or fall, you're probably outside because this building would have been warmer than Hades. Not a whole lot of airflow, even with all the windows and doors open at the time. And during the wintertime, we had coal burning stoves. There's multiple located through the building still. Now, are they original? Not so much, but we'll pretend like they are, and that makes life easier. It's in the correct spot, fits everything, so we're going to run with it. Back here behind the counter, all the work was done to calculate how much every train car could hold and how they were going to get back and forth between here, Rogana, Dalton, Templo, and Gallatin. Track wasn't that far. We experienced one train wreck that was more than likely caused because of fouled ballast on the track, with it being a narrow gauge track as it came down from Templo and Hartsville Junction. Big news back in the day, not so much anymore since nobody got hurt. I doubt it'd even be on the news now. If it was not for this depot and the people who sweat, blood, and tears went into the joint, the town of Hartsville wouldn't exist even halfway in the fashion that it does today. It afforded the rights for there to be multiple hotels downtown, for a amazingly burgeoning pharmacist for the whole area. Mr. Hager was also a Spanish-American War veteran. And we'll get into him in a later episode because that's going to take a minute or two. Hartsville owes every bit of its history to these walls and to these floors and this tin ceiling that's on the roof. If it weren't for this, when the steamboats stopped running up and down the river between Nashville and here in Carthage, town would have been done for. I can't emphasize that enough. This building is Hartsville. It is the heart of the town. We talked about in the last video at the end about trying to get some kind of help for our building, our history in Hartsville. This is not the only historical building. We also have the Living History Museum which is a beautiful house that was moved to the property adjacent to the depot. We have the Ward School. We have our historic courthouse. Well, our third rendition of the courthouse, since it decided that it needed to be burnt twice before what it looks like now. We welcome each and every one of you to join us on our journey, either through video or to actually come down and talk to us. If the door's open, we're here. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear how this place impacted you, whether it was as a child, a teenager, or you even worked here. We'd love to hear that. If your dad worked here, your mom worked here, we'd love to hear that as well. The interconnection of the